Have you ever looked at a gorilla and thought, yeah, it's big, but how strong can it really be? Well, if you think that, you're seriously underestimating them. Gorillas aren't just big apes. They're huge, they're incredibly strong, and they're way smarter than people give them credit for. But for some reason, people constantly underestimate them. People make jokes about them. People act like they're just big dumb animals. And then you go online and you'll even see people saying that leopards can just hunt down and kill silverback gorillas. So today I want to clear some of that up. We're going to look at how strong gorillas really are, how hard they can hit, how powerful their bite is, how intelligent they are, and why people seriously need to stop underestimating them. So why are gorillas so strong? Let's start with the obvious. Just look at a male gorilla. Look at the shoulders, the chest, the arms, the back. Everything about this animal is built for power, and there's a reason for that. Gorillas are built very differently from us. They spend a lot of time walking on their knuckles. They climb, they push through thick plants, they move heavy branches around. They have to support a huge body using their arms. So naturally, their upper body is ridiculously strong. And it's not just the muscles, their whole body is built for strength. They have thick bones, huge shoulders, long arms, powerful hands, a strong neck, and a massive back. Basically, this is an animal that's built to produce a lot of force. Now, you'll sometimes see crazy numbers online. People will say a gorilla is 10 times stronger than a human, or a gorilla can lift 4,000 pounds, or a gorilla can punch with 2,000 psi. But here's the problem. A lot of those numbers aren't based on proper scientific testing, and honestly, we don't even need them, because the real gorilla is already incredibly strong. Just look at the animal. Its body tells you everything you need to know. Now let's talk about one of the biggest questions. How hard can a gorilla punch? And this is where we need to be careful. You might see someone online say a gorilla punches with 2,000 psi, but that's not really something we can prove. There hasn't been some gorilla standing in front of a punching machine and giving it their absolute best shot. So we don't have a perfect number. There are estimates though, and some estimates suggest that a gorilla could produce well over 1,000 pounds of force with a powerful strike. But again, those are estimates. And here's the thing, a gorilla doesn't need fight like a human boxer. It isn't going to stand there, move its head, rotate its hips, and throw a perfect left hook like Mike Tyson. A gorilla has a completely different way of fighting. It can grab, it can pull, it can push, it can bite, it can wrestle, and it can use its entire body. And honestly, that's probably even more frightening, because you're not dealing with one powerful punch. You're dealing with an animal that has massive arms, massive hands, a huge body, huge teeth, and incredible upper body strength. So forget the idea of a magical 2,000 psi gorilla punch. The real story is much simpler. The entire animal is built for power. Now let's talk about something we have a better idea of. The gorilla's bite. You've probably heard the number, around 1,300 psi. That's the figure you will commonly see reported for gorillas. And that's incredibly powerful. For comparison, human bite force is usually estimated to be somewhere in the low hundreds of psi. So there's a massive difference. And remember, gorillas are herbivores. They aren't predators. They're not running around hunting animals and biting through their necks. They're mainly eating plants, leaves, stems, bark, and other tough vegetation. So why do they have such powerful jaws? Because their food can be pretty tough. Now look at the skull of a male gorilla. That big ridge at the top of the skull, the crest. It's connected to the muscles that control the jaw. Basically, it's part of what allows the gorilla to have such powerful jaws. So when someone says, but gorillas are herbivores, so they can't be dangerous, that's a terrible argument. Being a herbivore doesn't mean you're weak. Rhinos are herbivores. Hippos are herbivores. Elephants are herbivores. And gorillas? They're herbivores with an incredibly powerful bite. But here's something that also gets shockingly ignored, sometimes even more than their strength. Their intelligence. People sometimes act like gorillas are just giant balls of muscle with nothing going on in their heads. That's just not true. Gorillas are great apes, and we've seen them solve problems, use objects, and figure out ways to get what they want. Wild gorillas have been seen using branches to help them cross water. They've also been seen using pieces of wood like bridges. Think about that for a second. The gorilla isn't just randomly picking up a stick. It's using something around it to solve a problem. And there's an even crazier example. Researchers have seen captive gorillas use another gorilla like a living ladder, so they could reach food they couldn't get to before. That is pretty clever. The gorilla is basically thinking, I can't reach that, but you can help me reach it. And that's just one example. Gorillas have also been taught to use tools, solve puzzles, and deal with new problems. Now, obviously, I'm not saying gorillas are intelligent as humans, of course, they're not. But calling them stupid? That's just wrong. They're intelligent animals with their own way of understanding the world, and that's something people seriously overlook. Now, we need to talk about one of the biggest claims you see online. A leopard can kill and eat a silverback gorilla. And this one needs a little explaining, because yes, leopards have killed gorillas. There are real cases of this happening, so I'm not going to sit here and say it has never happened, because that's not true. But here's where people take things way too far. They take a rare event and turn it into leopards hunt silverbacks all the time. Or a leopard would easily beat a gorilla in a fight. That's a very different claim. A leopard is an amazing predator. It's fast, it's stealthy, it has sharp claws, and it has powerful teeth. So yes, a leopard has some big advantages, but a healthy adult silverback isn't some helpless animal. A full-grown male gorilla is huge. It's incredibly strong, it has massive arms, powerful hands, and a very strong bite. And remember, gorillas live in groups. If something threatens the group, the silverback may step in and confront it. So when someone says leopard beats gorilla because a leopard has killed one, that's not how this works. One animal killing another doesn't mean it would win every fight. A leopard killing a gorilla doesn't mean leopards can just walk up to any silverback and beat it. And it definitely doesn't mean adult silverbacks are normal leopard prey. The important thing is this: leopards can kill gorillas, but it appears to be rare, and the situation matters. So yes, respect the leopard, it's an incredible predator, but don't use rare cases to pretend gorillas are easy targets. Now, let's have some fun, because I already know someone is going to ask, okay, but what about Prime Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson was one of the most dangerous boxers ever. Fast hands, huge punching power, amazing skill, and years of training. He knew how to fight. He knows how to fight. But there's a problem. A boxing match and a fight with a gorilla are two completely different things. Tyson's skills were made for fighting humans. His timing, his footwork, his head movement, his punches, all of it. But none of that was designed for fighting a gorilla. A silverback isn't going to stand there and let Tyson set up a perfect left hook. It's a completely different animal. The gorilla has massive arms, huge hands, a powerful bite, and a body built for pulling, grabbing, and wrestling. That doesn't mean John Cena or Brock Lesnar. And Mike Tyson, as incredible as he was still human. At his heaviest, he was around 100 kilograms. A large silverback can be much heavier. And here's the biggest thing. The gorilla doesn't need to win a boxing match. It just needs to use what it has. Its size, its strength, its arms, its bite, and its entire body. So, if we're talking about a healthy adult silverback against Prime Mike Tyson in an unarmed fight, it's the gorilla. It's not even a fight. It's just it's a one shot. That's what it is. It's a one shot. And that's not because Mike Tyson was weak. Far from it. He's an incredible athlete, one of the best fighters ever. But he was an incredible human. And a silverback is an incredible gorilla. They're playing two completely different games. And obviously, this is just a fun hypothetical. Please don't try it, seriously. Please. The gorilla can rip a human to shreds without even trying it. Please don't try it. I beg. But here's the funny thing. After everything we've talked about, you might think I'm saying that gorillas are terrifying monsters. And that's not what I'm saying at all. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking gorillas are indeed King Kong and always looking for a fight against Godzilla. They're not. Gorillas spend a lot of the time doing normal social things. They play, they communicate, they look after their young, they spend time together as a group. Even silverbacks don't always need to fight. They can use displays to scare something off. They might beat their chest, they might shout, they might stand tall, they might break plants, they might even charge. And the message is pretty simple. Back off. That's it. Because fighting is dangerous, even for a huge animal. So sometimes the strongest animal doesn't need to prove anything. It just needs to show you what it could do. And that's one of the things I find most interesting about gorillas. They're incredibly powerful, but they don't spend every second trying to prove it. So, the next time you see a gorilla sitting there calmly, don't make mistake for weakness. Don't look at it and think it's just a big monkey. You're looking at one of our closest living relatives, an animal with an incredible strength, a powerful bite, a huge upper body, a smart mind, and very complex social lives. And that's why I think gorillas deserve more respect. Not because they're unbeatable. They're not. Not because every crazy number you see online is true. It isn't. And not because gorillas are some kind of superhero. They're not. The real animal is already impressive enough. We don't need to give them a fake 4,000-pound punch. We don't even know if that's true. We don't need to know and pretend that they can lift 10 times their body weight. And we don't need to pretend a leopard has never killed one. Because the truth is already amazing. A gorilla is an incredibly strong, smart, social and amazing animal that usually isn't looking for a fight. And honestly, that's probably the most impressive part. An animal that has this much power but chooses to live peacefully deserves respect, not ridicule. So stop underestimating gorillas, stop calling them stupid, stop acting like a rare leopard attack means silverbacks are easy prey, and stop confusing calmness with weakness. Because underneath all that calm is an animal built like biological powerhouse. Respect the gorilla. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe. I never really do videos like this, but I realised I haven't posted in almost 2 fucking months. So, yeah, might as well do something. And let me know in the comments, what animal do you think is the most underrated when it comes to strength and why? And I'll see you in the next one.